Hello, and thank you for joining us on the Slow Yarn Crawl. This is our Verdite cowl, and it is a corner-to-corner kind of standard crochet pattern. But if you haven't done a corner-to-corner blanket before, this might be something new and different for you. So go ahead and crochet along with us. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a little slip knot, put it on our crochet hook. And we're going to chain. We're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to go on to row 1, and it says to, in row 1, double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just to show you the lay of the land, you should have 2 chains remaining after that. All right, so we're going to double crochet. And before we go on to the other 2 double crochets, this becomes your chain 3 edge that we talk about later on, or chain 3 space that we talk about a whole bunch in the pattern. So if you're looking for that chain 3 space, this is what we're talking about. As soon as we make this double crochet in the 4th stitch, a 4th chain from the hook, that creates this chain 3 space. If it helps to put a stitch marker there, that can always be helpful. All right, so the rest of row number 1 here is to double crochet into the next 2 chains. So we're going to do that, 1 and then 2. And you should be at the end of the work there, 2. All right, and then before we turn, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we can turn, and because this is such a small piece of work, we only have a little thing here. Now we have our chain 6 here, we have our 3 double crochets here, and then we have the chain 3 space that means all the world to us in this next step. So, or one of the following steps, I shouldn't say the next step. All right, so the first part of row number 2 is to double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to double crochet into that one, and then the next 2 chains we're going to double crochet into each one of those. So this is not the stitch from the row before, this is the chain, this is part of the chain 6. Oops, double crochet. And sometimes as I'm doing this double crochet business into that chain, sometimes my work does turn on me. So this little piece here turned back down, and it should technically be up like this. So if you have turned your work and all you see is this, trying to see here, this double crochet from the previous round, we want this chain 3 space here that actually turned on me. So it should look something like this. This is the chain 3 space from the previous row. This is where it's nice to put a locking stitch marker in there because you won't lose it then. All right, so what it says to do next is in the chain 3 space, which is right here, we're going to slip stitch, slip that. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put 3 double crochets into that same space. So 1, 2, and 3. And before we can turn our work, we just need to chain that 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so this point, it's going to be a lot of the same. Every single time we're going to add another little block, and so it's going to get wider and wider. I do want to point out that the point of your cowl is where your tail is. So just that can kind of help keep everything oriented how you want it to be. So I did my chain 6. I'm going to turn my work. And just to see the lay of the land here, we have that chain 3 from the previous row right here. And then we have another chain 3 from the previous row right here. And then we have our chain 6 that we just did here. So again, we're going to go the fourth chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just go into the top loop of it. So we're just going to double crochet into that. As soon as you do this double crochet, you could put a locking stitch marker on that chain 3 space just to help you out there. All right, so we did 1 double crochet. We're going to do 2 double crochets. And again, this is into the chain from the chain 6 that we just did. This is not into any of the work from the previous row. All right, now we're going to stop. Make sure that the orientation is where the tip of the shawl is, or the cowl is pointing down. We want to go into this chain 3 space here from the row before, and we're going to slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets into there. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're not to the end yet, so then we have one more little cluster here. We're going to slip stitch into that edge. Slip stitch. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to double crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. We are to the edge of our work. It's starting to become a cute little triangle. It should grow by 1 little cluster each time. I'm going to do one more row with you. We're going to do chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to turn our work. We're going to double crochet into the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th. I tell you, I know how to crochet, I promise. And double crochet into that 4th chain from hook. Now we're going to go to the chain next to it and the chain next to that. So chain there. And we're going to go into that chain there. So for the very first cluster, we're going to be working into the 4th chain from stitch, the 5th chain from stitch, and the 6th chain from stitch. From hook, I mean. Whew, it's been a long day. Let me say that again. When you do your double crochets along the edge here, you're going to chain 6, you're going to double crochet into the 4th chain from hook, the 5th chain from hook, and the 6th chain from hook. So you are doing those the first cluster of double crochets are all going into that chain. Then you get to graduate, again, making sure that the point is straight down. The edge here, so you're looking at this cluster here, the edge here has that chain 3, and we're going to slip stitch into that. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to double crochet 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now we get to go to the next one, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets into that one, 1, 2, and 3, and then we have our last cluster there, and that's this edge here. And we're going to slip stitch into that one, chain 3, and then 3 double crochets all into that same space. 1, 2, and 3. And we have finished 4 clusters across, and then next one will be 5, and on and on and on and on. The pattern says to go until you have 27 of these blocks. If you're using a different yarn or if your gauge can allow you to do more blocks, go ahead and just do more until you're ready. Do make sure that you have enough yarn to do the final row, which is kind of finishing off so you don't have this scalloped edge. It kind of fills in those spots so that the edge goes straight across. All right, I hope you enjoy this pattern. If you have any questions at all, please let us know at info@alittleknitty.com. Thanks and have a great day.